Lecture 18, Chronic Diseases, Sora, page number 126 to 129.
Chronic diseases, Sora. Sora is the beginning of all physical sickness. Had Sora never been established as a miasm upon the human race, the other two chronic diseases would have been impossible, and susceptibility to acute diseases which have been impossible. All the diseases of man are built upon Sora, hence it is the foundation of sickness. All other sickness came afterwards. Sora అనేటువంటిది అసలు దాని మీదే మేష్ గారిని కోపడ్డాడు ఒక ఆయన క్లాసులు చెప్పి ఆయన హోమియో క్లాసులు రోడ్లో హోమియో క్లాసులు చెప్తాడు. ఆ ఊరు వెళ్ళాను, అయితే తీసుకెళ్ళాను మేష్ గారు ఇక్కడ ఆయన ఏదో హోమియో క్లాసులు చెప్తున్నారు, మీరు వస్తున్నారని చెప్పాము, మిమ్మల్ని తీసుకొస్తానని చెప్పాను, ఈయనే తీసుకెళ్ళాను. సరే తీసుకురామన్నారు మేష్ గారు వెళ్ళిన ఆయన అప్పుడే మయాజమ్స్ గురించి చెప్తున్నాడు. మేష్ గారు మీరు ఏదైనా చెప్పండి. మేష్ గారు సోరా గురించి మయాజమ్స్ గురించి మయాజమ్స్ అనేటువంటివి ఎలా వస్తాయి, అవి పోవడం ఎలా పాసిబుల్, హోమియో ట్రీట్మెంట్లో క్యూర్ అనేటువంటిది జరుగుతుంది, మళ్ళీ రాకుండా ఉండాలంటే హోమియో కాకుండా ఇలాగ చేయాలి ఇవన్నీ చెప్పారు. ఆ తర్వాత ఆయన మాట్లాడుతూ మేష్ గారు సోరా గురించి చెప్పారు. కృష్ణమాచార్య గారు సోరా ఎలా పోతుందన్నారు, అసలు సోరా పోదు, ఇంపాసిబుల్, అసలు కష్టం అసలు సోరా అనేటువంటిది. సోరా లేనిదే ఏ డిసీజ్ రాదు కదా. మరి మహనీయులు మహానుభావులందరికీ కూడా సోరా ఉంది, అది లేనిదే ఏ డిసీజ్ రాదు. ఉదాహరణకి రామకృష్ణ పరమహంసకి క్యాన్సర్ వచ్చింది, రావణ మహర్షి గారికి కర్బంకులు వచ్చింది, వాళ్ళందరికీ వాళ్ళకే సోరా తప్పలేదు. అంచేత సోరా ఉంది లేనిదే వాళ్ళకి కూడా అవి రావు కదా, వాళ్ళకే సోరా ఉందని సోరా పోవడం చాలా కష్టం అని చెప్పారు. ఇంకేం చెప్పలేదు, టైం లేదు అక్కడ, వేరే పని మీద వెళ్తూ మధ్యలో ఆగారు, ఇంకా అక్కడ డిస్కషన్ మొదలవుతుంది. తర్వాత మేము అడిగాను చెప్పాను, అయితే సోరా తాలూకు ఫస్ట్ సింటమ్ ఇది, సోరా పోకుండా సోరా పోదు అనుకోవడం ఫస్ట్ సింటమ్ సోరాది. తర్వాత వెళ్ళాను, బయటకు వచ్చాక అడిగాను, మాతో ఉన్నాయని ఒక ఆయన అడిగారు, ఆయన చెప్పిన కరెక్టే అనిపిస్తుంది మేష్ గారు, మరి వాళ్ళ సంగతి ఏంటని. ఇప్పుడు మేష్ గారు చెప్పారు, వాళ్ళకి సోరా ఉండదు, సోరా వాళ్ళకి ఉండాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. వాళ్ళకి డిసీజ్ ఎందుకు వచ్చిందంటే జాతి వాళ్ళు చేసేటువంటి తపస్సు వాటిల్లో వాళ్ళు శరీర ధర్మాలు అనేటువంటి వాళ్ళు పట్టించుకోరు, దానివల్ల శరీరం కదా ఇది దానికి వస్తాయి. అయినా సరే జాతి కర్మలు చాలా మటుకు వీళ్ళ బాడీ నుంచి న్యూట్రలైజ్ చేస్తూ ఉంటారు. అంచేత అవన్నీ డిసీజెస్గా వాళ్ళ శరీరం మీద కొన్నాడు పనిచేస్తూ ఉంటాయి. వాడు దాన్ని మనకి వాళ్ళకి తేడా ఏంటంటే మనం దాంతో ఐడెంటిఫై అయిపోతాం, వాళ్ళు దాంతో ఐడెంటిఫై అవ్వరు. సోరా ఉంటే ఐడెంటిఫై అయిపోతారు. సోయా మీకు కర్బంకిలు ఉంది కదా దానికి వస్తా అన్నట్ట, వద్దప్ప అన్నట్ట. అంటే మీ అందరూ ఎలా వచ్చి ఆశ్రమంలో ఉంటున్నారు కదా, కొన్నాళ్ళు వారు కూడా ఉంటా ఉన్నారు ఇక్కడ వచ్చి ఉండేయండి. సరే కొన్నాళ్ళు బాగా ఇంకా మరీ అది పెద్దదవుతుంటే మరి సరే కోస్తాను సరే అన్నట్ట. అయితే అనస్థీషియా ఇస్తా అన్నట్ట, ఏ ఒక్కరిని కోసేయండి అన్నట్ట. ఎందుకంటే అనస్థీషియా కూడా అలా వస్తాం, మీకెందు మీ పని మీరు చేయండి, నా పని నేను చేసుకుంటాను అన్నట్ట. ఆ కొంచెంసేపు నేను అక్కడ ఉన్నాను కదా అన్నట్ట. Sora is the underlying cause and is the primitive and primary disorder of the human race. It is a disordered state of the internal economy of the human race. This state expresses itself in the forms of the varying chronic diseases or the chronic manifestations. If the human race had remained in a state of perfect order, Sora could not have existed. There would not be any chance for Sora to come. The susceptibility to Sora opens out a question altogether too broad to study among the sciences in a medical college. It is altogether too extensive, for it goes to the very primitive wrong of the human race, the very first sickness of the human race, that is the spiritual sickness. from which first state the race progressed into what may be called the true susceptibility to Sora, which in turn laid the foundation for the other diseases. So, it is the fundamental sin of the human race. Because of that only Sora started. If we regard Sora as synonymous with itch, we fail to understand. Normally many doctors they will say Sora is nothing but itch. Scabies. But it is not itch. He says it is not physical itch, mental itch is Sora.
Even
College lo na? ఆయన ఎంత క్లియర్ గా చెప్పాడు, ఈయన ఎంత క్లియర్ గా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశాడు వాటి గురించి పాపం.
ఒక్క పాయింట్ తప్ప ససెప్టిబిలిటీ టు దట్ పర్టికులర్ అనే పాయింట్ వదిలేసి బ్యాక్టీరియా పట్టుకొని ఇంకా హ్యాంగ్ అవుతుంది. చౌర్యం అక్కడ జరిగింది.
సో దే ఆర్ హ్యాంగింగ్ విత్ బ్యాక్టీరియా. And fail to express thereby anything like the original intention of Hahnemann. The itch is commonly supposed to be a limited thing, something superficial, caused by a little tiny bit of a mite that is supposed to have life. And when the little itch mite is destroyed, the cause of itch is said to have been removed. What a folly! From a small beginning with wonderful progress, Sora spreads out into its underlying states and manifests itself in the large portion of the chronic diseases upon the human race. It embraces epilepsy, insanity, the malignant diseases, tumors, ulcers, catarrhs, and a great proportion of the eruptions. So not only skin eruptions, other diseases are also due to Sora. It progresses from simple states to the very highest degree of complexity, not always alone and by itself, but often by the villainous aid of drugging during generation after generation. For the physician has endeavored with all his power to drive it from the surface and has thereby caused it to root itself deeper, to become more dense and invisible, until the human race is almost threatened with extinction. Look at the number of the population upon the face of the earth and notice how few arrive at the age of maturity. It is appalling to think of the number of infants that die, and these largely from the outgrowths are outcoming of Sora. So all these first the itch which has been suppressed are the principal cause which has been suppressed many times, that it leads to the establishment of miasm. We see little ones born who have not sufficient vitality to live, the congenital debility and marasmus and varying diseases of a chronic character that carry off the little ones have for their underlying cause the chronic miasms. The principal underlying cause is Sora, next syphilis and next psychosis. So sometimes if some doctors or some persons, if they think that the microorganisms, Hahnemann explained as miasms. Some people about whom you are telling, they may be thinking. So microorganisms are different from miasms. Miasms are, he has explained in a wonderful way from the beginning of the beginning folly of the human race, how it takes place. The microorganisms are only, according to Kent and Hahnemann, they are only the results of the diseases. They work as only as scavengers, according to Kent. They are not the causes of the diseases. No microorganism is any cause for the disease. Only after starting of the disease only they will be born, and they work as only scavengers. They are not at all the causes of the diseases. He has explained. It required 12 years for Hahnemann to discover and gather together the evidence upon which he came to his conclusions. When a patient came to him who manifested chronic disease in any way, he took pains to write down carefully in detail all the symptoms from beginning to end, with the history of the father and mother, until he had collected a great number of appearances of disease, not knowing yet what the outcome would be. In each and every case he used to gather all the things. For 12 years he has done this like a penance. తపస్సులాగా చేశాడు 12 సంవత్సరాలు. So for what thing he is collecting these means only after completing his work everybody could know. In the beginning everybody might be thinking that he was not so modern doctor, because he was asking more details about the family.
Even now the same story is going.
అదే కాదు, ఈ మధ్య మనవాడు ఒక చోట నుంచి ఫోన్ చేశాడు. ఒక అతను కేస్ టేకింగ్ చేసుకుంటూ ఉంటే క్లినిక్స్లో ఒక అతను పేషెంట్ అడిగట్టు ఎందుకు ఇవన్నీ అడుగుతున్నావు అన్నట్టు. మాకు నీకు మందు ఇవ్వడానికి ఇవన్నీ కావాలంటే నాన్ సెన్స్, ఇవన్నీ ఎందుకు నీకు, మా సీక్రెట్స్ అన్నీ మేము అడిగిన దానికి నువ్వు మంది అంతే, ఇవన్నీ మేము చెప్పడానికి వీల్లేదు, వీళ్ళు అడగడానికి వీల్లేదు, ఇలా అయితే నీ మీద టీవీ నైన్లో చెప్పి నీ మీద కేసు వేస్తాను ఇదేదని చెప్పాడు. అతను కంగారు పడి ఫోన్ చేశాడు. మా ప్రొసీజర్ ఇలా ఉంటుంది, నీకు కావస్తే తీసుకోలేకపోతే అని ఎవరినైనా తీసుకురా, టీవీ నైన్ అయినా ఎవరినైనా తీసుకురా చెప్తామని చెప్పి ఎందుకు కంగారు పడతాం. నీకు కావాలంటే మందు తీసుకోలేకపోతే మానే, నేను రమ్మని నేను పిలవలేదు, అడ్వర్టైజ్మెంట్ ఇచ్చో లేకపోతే నీకు ఫోన్ చేశాను, నేను రమ్మలేదు, ఇక్కడ తగ్గుతున్నాయి నువ్వు వచ్చావు, ఇక్కడ ఎందుకు తగ్గుతున్నాయంటే ఇదే ప్రొసీజరు, నీకు మేము ఆ ప్రొసీజర్ ఫాలో అవుతాం, నువ్వు కోఆపరేట్ చేస్తే మందు వాడు, నీకు ఇష్టం లేదమ్మా నేను బోల్డ్ మంది ఉన్నారు డాక్టర్స్, నేను ఒక్కడే కాదు అని చెప్పాను. ఆడవాళ్ళలో ఒకరిని ఫోన్ చేశారు, పేరును ఊరు ఇప్పుడు చెప్పండి. అవును, ఇలా ఇలా చెప్పాడు. వచ్చి గొడవ ఇద్దరు ముగ్గురు వచ్చారు, అందులో ఒకడు రిపీటెడ్గా చెప్పాడు, అది చేశాడు. చెప్పమని చెప్పాను. ఇంకా తర్వాత 2-3 సార్లు చెప్పిన తర్వాత నేను ఇంకా ముందు అది డిసైడ్ చేసుకురండి, నాకు టైం వేస్ట్, మీ కేసు అంతా రాసుకుని మందు తీసుకోనంటే దండగా, నాకు మీరు ఇచ్చే డబ్బులే కాదు ముఖ్యం, మీకు తగ్గడం కూడా ముఖ్యం, అంతే మేము ఇవన్నీ చేసుకుని స్టడీ చేస్తాం, మీకు అది ఇష్టం ఉంటే ఆలోచించుకుని ఓకే అంటే రండి, లేకపోతే రాకండి అని చెప్పామని చెప్పి. ఒకళ్ళిద్దరు వచ్చి కంటిన్యూ చేశారు, ఒకళ్ళిద్దరు మాత్రం రాలే. వాళ్ళు ఏదో బెదిరిద్దాం అనుకున్నారు, ఏదో చెప్పినట్టుగా మీడియాను ఉపయోగించి అది చేద్దాం, దాంతో ఏదో ఇతను ఏదో భయపెడితే ఇది లాగొచ్చని. ఇక్కడ ఒకసారి అలాగే చేశారుగా అప్పుడు. అలాగే మన మిసెస్కి మందు కోసం వచ్చి జర్నలిస్ట్ని ఆ రోజు అన్నయ్య గారు ఉన్నారు, నేను లేనప్పుడు జర్నలిస్ట్ని, నేను మా ఆవిడని మందు తీసుకొచ్చాను, చూడాలి, నాకు అది జర్నలిస్ట్ అంటే నాకు చాలా పని ఉండి నేను ఉండను, ఉంటే అయితే వెళ్ళిపో, మా ప్రొసీజర్ అయితే జర్నలిస్ట్ మాకేంటి, నువ్వు జర్నలిస్ట్ అయితే నీ పని నువ్వు చూసుకోవాలి, ఇక్కడ నుంచి కావస్తే వాడు మందు తీసుకుని వస్తారు, నీకు ఫోన్ చేస్తారు, వచ్చి తీసుకెళ్ళి, లేదా అప్పటిదాకా నువ్వు ఇక్కడ ఉండాలంటే ఉండు, మీ ఆవిడ గురించి మందు గురించే కాబట్టి దాటి ఇంకా క్వశ్చన్ లేదని చెప్పాను. అలా అయితే నేను అది చేస్తాను ఏదైనా చేసుకోని చెప్పాను. ఆ తర్వాత చేశాడు, అప్పుడు జరిగిందిగా సిటీ క్యాబ్ వాడి ద్వారా అప్పుడు హడావుడి రెడీ చేస్తే హోమియో డాక్టర్ ఇలాగా డాక్టర్స్ కాకుండా వాళ్ళందరికీ క్లాసెస్ పెట్టి ట్రైనింగ్ ఇచ్చి డాక్టర్స్గా ఇచ్చేసి అందరి మీద వాళ్ళ మందులు ఇప్పిస్తున్నారు అని మన దాని పేరు కూడా దాంట్లో ఇచ్చి మన దానికి ఫోటో తీస్తే వేసి చూపిస్తారు పేషెంట్స్ అందరూ వాళ్ళకి ఫోన్ చేసి వాయించారు పట్టుకుని నేను ఇలా వాయిస్తాను శుభ్రంగా వాయించడం చెప్పాను గట్టిగా వాయించి ఇది చేసి మనం కూడా రెడీ చేసాం పరువు దర్శనం దావా వాడి మీద వేయడానికి వేస్తే ఈ లోపు వాడు తెలుసుకుని అందరి దగ్గర నుంచి వాయింపులు అయ్యేసరికి అప్పుడు ఇంకో డాక్టర్ని పెట్టి లేదు వీళ్ళది మేము పొరపాటున ఇది చేసినాం ఇప్పుడు చాలా సిస్టమేటిక్గా ఉంటుంది చాలా బాగా తగ్గుతాయి ఇదేదని మళ్ళీ ఆ డాక్టర్ చెప్పించి until he had collected a great number of appearances of disease, not knowing yet what the outcome would be. And after this careful writing out of the symptoms of hundreds of patients, little and great, rendu kuda, and comparing them and then gathering them together in one group, there appeared in the totality of this collection a picture of Sora in all of its forms. చిన్న చిత్తగా అందరికీ ఇలాగే రాసుకున్న తర్వాత కొనాడు పోయాక after some time only, after gathering all the things, one picture has formed. Underlying picture was there in all these people as a common picture, and he named it as Sora. Up to this time, the world had been looking upon each one of these varying forms as distinct in itself. Example, all these striking features of epilepsy would be gathered together, and epilepsy was then called a disease, but epilepsy is only one of the results of disease and never appears twice alike. If it is only epilepsy, commonly in all the people, all the symptoms should be similar. Exactly the same set of symptoms should be there. But in two epileptic attacks, two people who are suffering from epilepsy, the attacks will be different, the causation will be different, the appearance will be different. Some people will have aura, some people will not have aura. One case differs from the other case. Every person who has epilepsy differs from every other epileptic on earth. But epilepsy, insanity, diabetes, cancer, Bright's disease, and every other so-called disease have all had a beginning and one beginning. They are not distinct but operate in each person in accordance with that individual. Hahnemann says that before he began that collection of symptoms, he was struck somewhat with wonder that Naxwamika and Ignitia and such short-acting medicines were able to cure only a single manifestation of disease, a group of symptoms, or they would relieve for a time and then the symptoms would come back, although he had followed up the treatment to the best of his knowledge. Immediately after inventing homeopathy, he had seen very wonderful results. Than in allopathy, which he was practicing previously, the results were stunning. After giving either Ignitia or Naxwamika, all the symptoms were disappearing in a very wonderful way. But after practicing for some time, he could understand the same symptoms, the same group of symptoms, again and again repeating, even after giving the remedy. First of all, he could understand that this could cure, this remedy. It is a wonderful method. But after some time, he could observe in some cases the same symptoms are reappearing, and with the same drug they are not responding. So then he started, what is the cause? At the end of a case, he could discover that there had been a continuous progress in spite of the fact that he had relieved his patient of suffering a good many times. So it is while acute acting remedies are used, and you will use them if you do not know the Soric doctrine. So if you are not aware of the miasmus theory, and if you do not administer the anti-miasmatic remedies, you will be basing on only those acute acting remedies, and you will be repeating or increasing the potency. Like that you will be following. The short-acting medicines are the ones that contain the counterparts of the acute manifestations of Sora, and hence, when these acute manifestations appear in groups of symptoms, you will naturally select the acute medicines and you will palliate them from time to time, but at the end of years you will look upon every individual case and will notice that the case has been steadily progressing. Even by giving those remedies, the case will be worsening gradually. You will find that you have not struck at the root of the trouble, and there is an underlying something present and prevailing, and that the disease is steadily progressing, growing worse. Hahnemann saw this, and it was a mystery to him, because he had acquired a perfect mastery over the acute diseases with the acute remedies. But antisoric had been at that time very well proved. Belladonna, aconite, such Yesorics had been at this time very well proved. Belladonna, aconite, bryonia, arnica, china, naxwamica, etc., etc. And these had been found to be perfectly suitable for the acute manifestations of Sora and for the acute miasms. Hahnemann had not yet learned that the acute miasms were utterly and strictly acute miasms, and could not therefore compare acute miasms with chronic miasms or vice versa. He had not seen them yet as miasms. So he could prove all the remedies, all the important remedies, but esoric remedies. At that time he did not invent about miasms and anti-miasmatic remedies. But with all these remedies he could manage the cases very well. But in some cases, even after getting very good improvement, the same thing was repeating in the same way, the same symptoms. He was in the first step, he was very much satisfied because he could do much help to the sick when compared to his previous practice. But after some time he was much dissatisfied because the patients are coming with the same set of symptoms. Even after giving the exactly proved remedies, there was no continuous improvement and there was no complete cure. Then he could invent. Slowly he could invent. One will not understand the acute miasms clearly until able to compare them with the chronic miasms. They side up one with another and make it wonderfully manifest. The acute miasms come on either with sufficient violence to cause death to patients or with less violence, wherein there is a period of progress and a tendency to recover. They cannot be prolonged in the patient and must subside. So all the acute miasms and acute diseases, definitely they should subside in any way, either with the death of the patient or with the cure of the acute disease. They will not hang or they will not dodge for a long time like chronic miasms. They cannot be prolonged in the patient and must subside. The acute miasms are not governed in accordance with the fixed time in order to be acute miasms because they have times of their own. Every acute miasm has its own time of prodrome and progress and decline of the patient. So we cannot definitely direct all the acute miasms that they will have so and so time, so much time they will affect and they will subside like this, that we cannot say. Because each and every acute miasm, it has its own period. Neither is there a time after the lapse of which the chronic miasm is said to be chronic. According to the old school, diseases have been divided into acute, subacute and chronic. If any sickness ran longer than 6 weeks, it would be placed among the subacute. If it ran on indefinitely, it was called chronic. But they are not real chronic diseases. At some place he explains, Kent, that the acute complaints which were made difficult with many medicines, that is they are complicated, the actual acute miasms, acute diseases, when they are complicated with the bad effects of over medication, they look like a chronic disease, then they will call it a chronic disease because it is running much course of time, or 1 month or 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, like that. They will name it as a chronic disease, but exactly according to homeopathy, the chronic disease is different. But a chronic miasm is chronic from its beginning, and an acute miasm is acute from its beginning, according to homeopathy. First, if they start in the beginning, it may be called as acute disease. After 2 or 3 weeks, subacute disease. After some time, chronic disease. It is not like that according to homeopathy. Acute miasms are acute miasms from the beginning itself. From the prodromal period itself, they are acute miasms. Chronic miasms are definitely chronic miasms from the beginning. The acute miasms, they need not run for 2 or 3 months and then be converted into chronic miasms. It is not like that. It is from its nature and from its capabilities and from what it will do to the human race that we must name the miasm. So Hahnemann tells us frankly that he has astonished to find at the end of a certain length of time no progress had been made with his remedies in chronic diseases. Because he was having a research mind and an insight and a perceiving nature, he could know, he could understand each and everything. He could perceive everything. After some time, definitely, he could know that there was no much progress in the cases with the remedies which he has invented already. Though it is a very wonderful thing and a very rare thing to the world, he was not much satisfied with the results of the patients. The symptoms appeared with their own regularity, much stronger than before, which showed they were progressing. Hahnemann enters not only a difficult study, but with all sorts of difficulties, and after studying for 12 years, he developed the fact that in all cases observed, there was an underlying chronic disease, a chronic miasm, which has a tendency to progress and to end only with the life of the patient. Then he bent himself to the provings of medicines in order to discover from them a likeness to the chronic miasms. So, for 12 years of his research, he could then understand that there is a common underlying disease is there, which is preventing the cure of the patient in acute conditions. So, first of all, we should find out the remedies which are similar to that common disease. That common disease he has named as chronic miasm, and then he could prove remedies, and then he could study some more remedies which are similar not only to the acute conditions but also which are similar to that chronic condition which is an underlying cause for all the diseases in the world. Had he never come to this conclusion, he would not have noticed such things. When he had brought all the symptoms before the mind in one grand collective view, he began to observe and reflect as to what was the first and what was the second and latter appearances in the line of progress in this deep-seated chronic miasm. Thus, it was that he observed amongst those who were dying with phthisis that in their younger days they had a vesicular disease between the fingers and upon the body, which had been suppressed by the ointments in vogue at that time. So he could open a new window. Normally, when it is related to that condition, that back condition, of so many years, a simple itch may lead to this type of disease and death of the patient. Normally, nobody will believe. The doctors, not only the doctors, the common man also will not believe, and the doctors definitely will not believe. That is a separate disease, and this is a separate disease. But he could study that the suppression of originally that itch is the cause of all these complications. Like that, he could find out. Then the question naturally arose, what has had this suppression to do with that which came afterwards? as to how Hahnemann figured out the answer to the question you can read in his chronic diseases, but he does not tell it all, although he gives many pages of experiences and observations.
He did not conclude. It is up to you.
In his chronic diseases, he has explained many things, and he could give the cases and conclusions and observations. But finally, what he wanted to say is, this is the thing which Kant is explaining. You will more clearly understand and be better prepared to take up Hahnemann's line of thinking if you enter into the use of appropriate medicines and apply principle to the progress of the disease. That is, you will see a demonstration of his teaching in the curative treatment of a very large number of cases of sickness by applying principles that diseases get well in the reverse order of their coming, that the last symptoms will be the first to go away, and that the older symptoms will come and go in the reverse order in which they appeared. Old symptoms in the form of eruptions come back, old chills which have been suppressed come back, and many other chronic manifestations come back again in a sort of successive order. This principle also, Hahnemann was the first man in the world to establish that the complaints will be cured in the reverse order of their occurrence. The latest complaints, they will be cured first. Slowly in the reverse order they will appear and disappear like that. What was the condition, what was the cause in his childhood, that will finally appear and that will finally disappear. Then only health will be established to the patient. That theory and that concept and that thinking was the first established by Hahnemann. If we observe these things, we must come to the conclusion that when we have driven these oldest and deepest troubles back into their original manifestations, which was perhaps a vesicular eruption, and if we see nothing more simple than this eruption, we must conclude that the suppression of such an eruption was the beginning of the trouble. The suppression, simple suppression or complicated suppression of that simple disease, it is the cause of that horrible disease which has progressed. Normally the patient may say, "Oh doctor, I could cure this eruption with much difficulty. In my childhood I have used many medicines. I have tried homeopathy, allopathy, Ayurveda and many other medicines. No medicine could cure at that time." That means he was very fortunate that it was not suppressed. But finally his attempts were successful by using the medicines which were prepared either from sulfur or mercury or any strong medicines, and by external medicines which are named as native medicines, which are being prepared in most medicines by these items. They will be definitely suppressed. Then he says, "Oh, it took much time for me to cure from this skin disease. Again it is coming out. What we have to do? Can we approach the same person or the same method like previous? Or can you do anything in your system? Can it be cured in your system?" He will not care. What is complicated cases, complicated symptoms, how they were cured for him, with which he was being troubled more for many years. He will not think of that, but he will think only with this disease which was there for many years in childhood. But the allopathic system also, now they could understand only two types of things that are being the causation of caused due to the suppression of skin disease. One is asthma, second is kidney disorder, albuminuria, nephrotic syndrome. So when scabies is suppressed, nephrotic syndrome will appear, and when eczema is suppressed, asthma will appear. Only for these two diseases they could find out. But Hahnemann has established not only those physical diseases, but also upon the mental plane and mental symptoms, All the psychological symptoms, they are also the causation due to the suppression of these types of eruptions. Like that only he could establish. And gradually they have to know there is no other goal.